Welcome. Welcome to the Saturday Build Show. I'm your host over here at the Empower Gaming Computer Studio, Ben Estrino, building another PC. Hey, what's up, Dad Pods? Welcome to the Build Show. We've got, yeah, I know my arm flexes in some weird positions up behind me. Got a pretty cool build to do today. You guys want to see what it is? Let's go. Let's switch to the other one. I think this one's better. I like this one better. Hey, working on trying out dual monitor mount. See if that'll work with my desk. Yeah, I like it. Frees up a lot of space. I use one myself. Frees up a ton of space to the monitor. Can't hear a thing. Oh well. You guys got to remind me to fix that. It's the transition, the volume. There's two different audio sources for that transition. So it thinks I'm on a different audio source, and when I transition to this source, this scene, it like it's from a different audio source. So I gotta fix that. My bad. Sorry about that. I'm sure it was drowning everybody out. Oops. That's what happens when, you know, a special dude like me is streaming. You get a special person stream. Anyway, yeah, the dual monitor mount, I use one of those as well. I think it saves a ton of space on the desk. That's what I like about mine, when, you know, on my desk. Frees up a lot of space. But anyway, I was saying that this scene is a lot cleaner. I like this scene better than the other one. So, I don't know. Your opinion? Do you like this one? Or do you like the old one? Okay, let's go through the build and see what we're building with today. Today we're going to be building with an AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. It's got 8 cores, 16 threads, and a maximum boost of 5 gigahertz. So here's that bad boy right there. Next up, we have an AM5. We were going to just stay stock, but I did throw in the Thermalright contact frame because I just like how much cleaner they are when you take the thermal paste off. I will say, remove your thermal paste first, wipe it clean, before you try to take a contact frame off the CPU. I've had a bad experience recently by not cleaning it first. Cooler we're going to be using is a Thermalright Frozen Note. It's a liquid AIO cooler. It's got 360 millimeter of radiator real estate. 3 120 millimeter PWM addressable RGB fans on the radiator. And then we're going to be attaching both of these to an Asus TUF Gaming B650E Wi-Fi. This bad boy. It's an ATX motherboard. It's got Wi-Fi, it's got Bluetooth, and it's an Asus TUF board. Next up is our RAM. We are going to be running 32 gigs of DDR5, 6000 megahertz CL32. This is the G.Skill Flare X5 series. Similar to the Ripjaws, it's just basically the AMD Expo certified version of that. Is all it is. Super stable RAM for AMD though. And I recommend it if you want some super stable stuff. Storage, we have 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe, which is a MP44 Team Group SSD, so it's a Gen 4 drive, super fast. This says it's the L. It is the L, sorry. But still a super fast drive. I believe this one's 5400 megabits read and like 4800 megabits write. Still a super fast drive. NVIDIA RTX 4060, 8 gigabyte. And we're going with the Zotac Gaming Twin Edge OC. This is a pretty little card that we're going to be putting in there. And we also have a Sedgetap GM 750 watt 80 plus gold power supply, fully modular, It is also PCI 5.0, ATX 3.0 ready, like normal. This is going to set him up, so if he ever wants to upgrade to a bigger card, he's already got the cable, the 5.0 cable for the bigger card if he wanted to go up. Also, 750 watts is overkill for this system. We probably could have ran this entire system off of 600 watts, probably. But I wanted to give him a little bit of space on the power supply if you did want to go ahead and upgrade. Hey, what's up? Gold extension cables tonight? No, we're not doing gold extension cables. In fact, we're not doing any extension cables on this build. We are doing just the black cables from the power supply. Still going to look pretty dope. We're going to be building this in a Montech Air 903 Max. So we're going to have some really good airflow. I also grabbed, who was it? A couple of you guys made fun of me for not doing this in the last couple of Montech 903 Max builds, but I grabbed a 140mm addressable RGB fan from Thermalright to replace the standard black fan in the rear so that the addressable RGB fans on the front matches the ones in the rear, and it looks a lot better. So thanks to you guys, we're doing that now. All right, so let's go ahead and this kit I actually had out earlier because I was testing a PC for a customer that was here, and that's actually why I kind of held up the stream from starting earlier. We had a couple of different customers in and out, local customers. They needed some help troubleshooting their computers and took a lot longer than expected. So, I actually forgot to put this away. I just want to do it before it gets buried by all this new stuff we're opening. This is my test kit right here. The G.Skill FlareX kit, 32 gigs DDR5, but all I use it for is testing. I am beyond excited. I'm having trouble still sitting still, seeing my first gaming PC being built. Awesome. Well, here it is. We're doing it. I assume that's you, Josh. And welcome. Welcome to the build show, sir. We're doing it. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, the SSD, and the mounting brackets. Actually, I don't think there are any for the cooler. Sound good? Yeah? All right, let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, let's go ahead and bump the camera too while we're at it. So much better. Yeah, I would assume so. Gold power cables tonight. Gosh dang it, Tat. No, we're not doing gold power cables tonight. I'm gonna have to just get some. Like, does every PC need gold extension cables at this point? Because, you know, with the color scheme of things over here at Empower, they should be green and black. That is needed. That is indeed me. Okay, got it. I assumed. I just wanted to double check. All right, so we're going to get the motherboard out. We'll get started with that. All right. Absolutely. Well, if we did gold cables, I feel like, you know, for Empower, with the green and black kind of theme I have going, shouldn't I be doing green and black cables for everybody then? Like, that's just the standard, and then anything else is custom based on a request? Isn't that what I should be doing then? Oops, forgot my remote. We're getting close. Nice and close. Green, gold, black, be like Green Goblin. I mean, that would be, I don't think they make those, like, so I'd have to probably get them made up by Cable Mod or something. Right? I don't know, you tell me if you can find some. I will consider it. And here is our AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D going in. There's our 1,000,001 pins that we don't want to break or damage. Nothing looks better anymore now that I've seen them. I'm sorry. Gold is the standard? I'm sorry I've ruined you. Actually, we're not even going to put that down because we're just going to remove these. Alright, our CPU is installed. B650, best gaming CPU ever? No, this is... Yes, this is a B650. The B650E gaming Wi-Fi. Asus TUF. The TUF. How's the quality on the stream, guys? Let me take a look, because I had to reset all my OBS settings, or my Streamlabs settings. Wasn't too happy about that either. Yeah, it looks all right. I was just worried because I think a couple streams ago, when I reset all my settings, I streamed and then I went back and I saw it and I was like, holy crap, it looks like shit. Excuse me, looks like crap. So I was like, I wonder what happened. And I forgot I had reset settings. And then I went back in and I wasn't streaming at 1080p, I was scaling to like 720 or something. Wasn't very cool. And then my bitrate was off by a lot. But this is our 32 gig kit. There's two 16 gigabyte sticks. It's the G.Skill Flare X. It's got 6,000 megahertz, and it's a CL32 kit for the timing. We're going to be putting that in slots A2 and B2, respectively. Next up, we're going to drop our SSD in the slot here, so I'm going to just move this over slightly so we can get this removed and drop our SSD in. Looks good, thank you. The video quality is fine on YouTube Live, other than I had to max out my volume to hear you. It's weird. Like, here, let me turn this up. Is this any better? Let me know, Josh. Like I said, I had to change a whole bunch of settings or reset a bunch of settings, and nothing's been right since I've done that a couple days ago. So, I apologize. I'm trying. It even picked up that too. Yeah, I gotta turn the gain down, and I'm screwing around with the mic now. Is this any better? Should be pretty good. So here we have a Team Group MP44L, which is 1 terabyte. It's a Gen 4 SSD. That's going in. And then we're going to peel off the bottom of this, or off the top, but it's the bottom of this thermal pad that's going over on top of the SSD. That'll help transfer the heat. That's better. No need to apologize. All is forgiven. Thank you. Yep. The SSD is installed, and now we are ready. We're ready to move on to the case. Let's do this. Get a nice zoom out. Come on. And there she is, in all of her glory. The Montech 903 Max. This case features a tempered glass side panel, a front mesh panel, very easy to remove as well, magnetic, toolless, so very easy to keep clean. It's got 3 140mm PWM addressable RGB fans on the front and 1 rear 140mm PWM black on the rear. We're going to be replacing this with a addressable RGB fan for awareness, so we'll be pulling that one. It's got the rubber around the cutouts on the inside of the case. It supports a full ATX motherboard, supports a 360mm AIO on the radiator at the top, 360mm up to 360mm radiator on the front, 120 on the rear if you really wanted to. Don't recommend it. And then it also supports 2 120mm fans on the bottom, and that is your cooling. It also supports, I believe, 2 140s on the top as well if you wanted to go with 140mm or a 280mm radiator. But the 360, in my opinion, looks better. It's about the same performance, so close to it. On the back, it's nice and clean. Not too much here to talk about or write home about, but we are going to remove the back panel, which has 2 thumb screws here. And if we flip it over, you'll see another value key item that comes with the case is an addressable RGB PWM hub, which is synchronizable to the motherboard. So you can control both the fan speeds and the addressable RGB from the motherboard itself. So super handy to have, and I'm happy that it's included with the case because it saves me a bunch of time and it makes it a little bit more organized with everything already plugged in as well. So a lot of great options on the front panel as well if we're doing a case review. On the top right side of the case, you'll have a power button, 2 USB 3.0s, a USB-C, your front panel HD audio, which is microphone and headphone, a reset button, and then an LED button if you would like to use the hub and the button mechanism to control the RGB, which we're going to be synchronizing to the motherboard, so we won't be doing that. Without further ado, let's drop this motherboard into the case. This is the Montech 903 Max. It's available in black and white, and then they also have a base version. The base version is basically the same exact thing, except there's no hub, no RGB fans, and there's only 2 140mm fans on the front and 1 in the rear. That is your base version of this case that is available on Amazon for just a little bit less. So you get more value when you buy this one. Better value, at least. Alright, now one thing we want to do before we drop this motherboard in here is we want to make sure we peel all the peels, which I see a couple here that we have to do, like this one here. And then there's usually one down here on the Asus boards, which there isn't one right here. There, one on the back. That's it. Let's go ahead and drop it in. All of our studs are in the right places already, so we're good to go. There we are. Motherboard's in. Let's secure it with the 9 screws that we have to add now. 9 screws. 9 screws to rule them all. I always go there, I'm sorry. How's everybody's weekend been? What is everybody up to? What are you guys doing on this fine, almost end of August weekend? We're leading up to Labor Day weekend, isn't it? Isn't it Labor Day next week? Or is that the weekend after? I'm doing the math in my head, and I think it's next weekend. Hey, what's up, Army Vet? Welcome to the Saturday Build Show. Where I could maybe start a little earlier than normal. I was trying to get started all day today. It's just, we had tons of people in and out here. Oh, it's been busy. It's very busy. And I'm behind on my build schedule now. So, a lot of things happened last week which really threw me off my schedule. And now I'm kind of behind. So, if anybody else is waiting for a build, it will be built. We are just behind a little bit. You can specifically thank Intel, AMD, Asus, and Asus again for all of that delay. There we go, motherboard's in. Let's go ahead and remove this fan. And then I'm actually considering dropping the power supply in next so we can get those EPS cables plugged in. Considering it. The EPS cables? Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man! Boat tinkering things. There you go. There you go. We're actually looking around for a used pontoon boat, probably in the neighborhood of like 4,500. Won't be needed until next year, so it's not like on the priority list, but we're shopping around. We also will need a trailer, so I know that's another expense. And then we also need a bigger car because we have number 3 on the way. We need a third row. Seeing how that all works out. So let's go ahead and put this bad boy in there. After getting this mount up and making sure the desk can withstand the weight, getting the desk set up, finalized, had a kid's birthday party this morning, and nada going on tomorrow. Nothing's going on tomorrow. Nice! Well, Dad Bods, that means maybe you can enjoy your dual monitor mount. Not the buttons. Not the gumdrop buttons. Yes, somebody caught that. So this is a Thermalright 140mm PWM addressable RGB fan. It's the TLC14CS. I don't usually talk about Thermalright's models because they're just a bunch of numbers and letters. They all mean something, but me as a technical person, I appreciate it. But it's not, it doesn't have like a cool name to it, you know? It's like the Blower 4000. Something like that, you know? But we're gonna put this in here so that it's matching all the rest of the fans. You can thank, I think it's Tattuna. Who forces me to do this on this case or on this build type. And if I don't do it, then he sits there and complains the whole time, and I don't want to hear him. I don't want to hear him the whole time we're streaming, you know, complaining about the one fan that's not right. It's not that it's not right, it just doesn't match the rest of them. Oh, congrats on the number 3. Thank you. I know, we're anticipating that to be here in October. Baby girl number 3. It's been downloading this whole time, so to speak. I know, it's a dad joke. A nerd, geeky dad joke. All right, next up, power supply. Let's slap that in there. I know we're doing things a little backwards, but I kind of want to get those EPS cables in. It is a modular power supply, so I don't necessarily... Yeah, just do it. Get her done. Right? Don't necessarily need to do the whole power supply. The Muffin Man! Do you know the Muffin Man? It's stuck in my head because I saw a stupid reel on, I think it was Facebook or YouTube or something, where there's a guy that's in the hospital sitting there listening, and there's another patient in the other room or at another spot in the same room screaming that while he's high on meds, you know, pain meds. And it's just stuck in my head. It's just baked in. I just want to be high on meds in a hospital screaming that, just to see if somebody catches the reference now. Not that I want to be high on meds, but pain meds in a hospital just for that scenario. I'm going to use that. 5 streak again. There you go. Here for the dad jokes. Oh yeah. Dad jokes all day. Pontoons are nice. Easy on the on and off from the dock, and great having a slow, yeah, that's mostly what we do. We don't do anything crazy. We cruise, have a couple drinks, dock at some shallows, or I guess anchor at some shallows, and then we just, you know, swim for a little bit, hang out. That's all. We don't do anything super fast on the water. We're not, you know, racing anybody, but when we're on the water, we just, time slows down. I also have a catamaran. I have a Hobie 16 that has not touched water in 2 years now. Kind of sad. Hobie cat. When I had the Spinel installed, shared a room with the Marine veteran. When they brought dinner in, I asked how he ordered his crayons. He said deep fried. Nice. Well, at least he had a sense of humor. Those are usually the best people that I want to hang out with, you know. People that have a sense of humor. Hard to break, you know. You can bust their balls in a funny way for everybody's entertainment, and they don't get upset. But then they do it back to you, and you can't get upset because you have to be that type of person too. So, I like those types of relationships. So right now we're just adding the power supply cables to the power supply. Go figure. And then we'll get this dropped into the actual case itself and be able to move on with our AIO cooler install, which will be next. But you know what? I think I'm going to probably get the case connections plugged in, then do the AIO. I just want to get that out of the way. Ow. That was weird. Yeah, I had total knee replacement. Yeah, I remember. I think you mentioned that a couple times. So we were both hopped up on painkillers. That would be the funnest time. The most fun in a hospital would be something like that. I mean, last time I was on painkillers, they had me on such a high dose that I was just passing out. Like, I couldn't even talk when I was in the hospital on painkillers. I think I was on, whatever the I think I was on morphine for that. I can't remember. Leah, what was I on? Oh, never mind. She's not over there. Forget it. I went to the wife archives to ask. It was a very foggy time. I don't remember everything then. Aha! EPS cables. We got them. Fix this. I gotta fix a lot of things. Fix. Now I'm routing all the cables. Let's see. Morphine is something else. Was on it in the hospital for a couple days when I broke my leg in high school. Definitely, for sure. It is something else. It makes you do some weird... gives you weird dreams, too. Maybe they weren't dreams. I don't even know. That would be interesting. Ben, that wasn't a dream. What? RGB and one's all the way down. Can we make it there? Can we make it there? That is the question. I think we can. All right, here we go. Flip it over. Now we're plugging everything in. USB-C, USB 3.0, USB or HD audio, front panel power. We've also got the 24 pin that we're going to plug in here, power to the motherboard, and the EPS cables, which was the original thing that drew us to plug in or get the power supply installed first. Oh shit, I need to get this rotated here without causing weird things happening with the cable. Got our 24 pin in. Then we have ARGB. We have a reset button. Why is this not? Okay. Kind of weird that that's separate, but okay. I know you really can't see with me here, but I promise I'm not just twiddling my thumbs underneath my head. There we go. We got all our cables plugged in now. So our EPS cables, which are up here, that's what powers the CPU. Our 24 pin power connection here powers the entire motherboard. USB-C front panel, USB 3 front panel connectors here. Our power button, front panel power reset, LED lights, and also our addressable RGB sync from the hub on the back, and our PWM fan header synchronization from the hub in the back, and our HD audio from the front panel. All plugged in. That's that. Hey, what's up, Ant-Man? Welcome back to the Build Show. What's up? I upgraded my 1070 to a 4060. Now I can max out my games in 1080p. Nice. Yeah, that card will help a lot compared to the 1070. 1070 it's got some older NVIDIA architecture, you know, so hard to keep up with today's games, especially with the texture sizes going up, even though they're both 8GB cards, but you're going from GDDR5 to GDDR6, which is a huge upgrade as it is. Not to mention the clock speed, memory speed, the shaders, all that's changed on the 4060. You also have full access to ray tracing now too, if you wanted to play around with that. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing prepped for an AIO. So I'm going to peel the magnetic dust cover off the top here, and we're going to get the AIO out. Which is the Thermalright Frozen Note 360mm AIO. And this is also V2, by the way. V2. I know the light's just perfect. It just blinds it. The V2. Version 2. They've already created a second one for improvements on already what was a really good cooler. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out ray tracing. Ray tracing is usually the easy, like, on-off switch is usually just inside the settings in the game. But it's mostly reflections. Real-time reflections and sorts, mostly, in my opinion. That's about all you really gain off of it. Some really cool-looking reflections. Like water, mirrors, things like that. Somebody with more knowledge around ray tracing probably can go more into it. Honestly, not the biggest care in the world for ray tracing unless you're playing single player. And most of the people that come to me are playing multiplayer. So, what I'm geared to know about. What I'm geared to know is pretty much ray tracing, shut it off, you'll get better FPS. Problem solved. That's for multiplayer. But if you are doing single player games, generally, you know, you could turn that on because you're playing single player and you're not, you know, competing against somebody else. So you have more, you can enjoy the eye candy. I just call it eye candy now. Where's some giant idiot when you need him? He probably has more in-depth knowledge on ray tracing than I do. You play both? Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be in the settings of the game. You go in, there's probably enable ray tracing, and then there's probably an option for like ray tracing level of detail or something that you could turn up. You can definitely run that now, compared from the GTX 1070 to an RTX 4060. The ray tracing technology has been unlocked for you. Make sure you update your drivers as well. If you haven't already, do a DDU, display driver uninstaller, to uninstall the old driver and then install the new driver, just to be sure. You don't necessarily need to do the DDU, but usually it's nice to do just to make sure it's a clean driver. And we're dealing with all our favorite twist ties. Half the stream is me undoing twist ties, I think. Still the same design as before. Hey, what's up? Atomic, welcome to the build show, sir. We're just building away. It automatically updated? Yeah, I know it'll automatically do it, but I usually prefer just to go in and do it myself. Then I know for sure it is done. Sound like what's her name? Eat it. You need advice. What's going on, man? Hit me. Hit me with your best shot. Okay, about there. These little buggers almost got me. I am getting a new PC, and I'm getting a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D with 216GB RAM at 6000 megahertz and a 7900 XTX with a 1150 watt power supply. That's a weird power supply size. And I'm gaming at 1980p. I assume you're saying 1920 by 1080p, maybe? 1980p? What would that be? Is that above 1440p? .1080p. Well, I can tell you right now, 7900 XTX with a 7800 X3D is a little overkill for 1080p. In fact, you're not even going to be utilizing the entirety of that graphics card or that CPU while you're gaming. So you're leaving a lot on the table. So what's your question on it? What is thy question, sir? How may I be of service? That's a 4K card. Exactly. You're not playing 1440p or in high response time, then you're probably just leaving a lot on the table there for that size of a card. It's kind of like buying a Hellcat and then only driving 25 miles an hour with it. So 1080p, yes, that's fine. It can do it, definitely, for sure. But you're leaving a lot on the table there for the money you're spending on it. You could do so much more. Okay, what are we hung up on here? Immediately hung up on something. Hung up on itself. Can you stop being stupid here? Okay. There you go. Again, let's just work together, and then we can get you mounted. Okay? I don't know why you have to be like that every time. 7800 XT would be fine for 1080p. That's still overkill. 7600 fine for 1080p, but unless you're trying to get like super high, then the 7700 probably is good. It's going to be for 2, maybe 3 months on 1080p. After that, I'm going 4K. That makes much more sense. No, we're not trying to rip on you or anything. We just want to make sure you're spending your money the right way. Because if you're overspending, you don't need to spend that much. I think that's mostly our concern. Asus makes a good 4K monitor. Yes, they do. They make a lot of good 4K, and so does Samsung. Yes, they do as well. But I need monitor advice. What monitor advice are you looking for? Just a 4K or a 1080p? The main specs you want to look at on a monitor is the response time, the screen resolution, obviously, and then you want to look at the hertz. What's the hertz, the refresh rate, all that. Those are all important stats that you want to look at. And then I think, depending on what type of panel it is, you want to look at that too. But mostly, 4K. Asus TUF, in my opinion, is a really good series for 4K. Samsung also, their Odyssey lineup is pretty good, right? It's the Odyssey. LG is another good one. Those are all trusted brands. 144 hertz for 4K, especially for the 7900 XT. I agree with that. Yep. You can get up to 144. It's going to be, a little more expensive, but it's going to feel a lot smoother than, say, 4K 60 hertz. 4K 60 hertz, you're going to see the chop when I say chop. You're going to see stutter or feel it, especially if you're coming from like 1080p, 165 or 144. You're used to the fluid smoothness of that. When you go to 4K on 60 hertz, it's going to feel like you're watching a flipbook. I'm serious. How's my day? My day's pretty good. It's been actually pretty busy. Sorry, Ant-Man, I missed that question. Ant-Man says he over on YouTube, I have two Samsung Odyssey 27-inch and 24. They're awesome. So there's another report from another viewer here. Samsung Odyssey is great. By the way, my PSU and my case are from old HP Omen PC. Okay, so that makes sense. That's why you have 1,150 watt, because I'll be honest, I've not heard that one before, but it makes more sense that it came from a system integrator like HP. I've seen Thermaltake with a 1,050 watt, which I've actually used here on stream, and they're really good. They're actually really good power supplies. I was just curious. Yeah, I agree with that, Ben. Thanks, Oysterhead. Thank you. It's an Intel Gen 6 CPU era. Yeah, I know. They did some weird stuff then. Like, a lot of companies reinvented the wheel so that they made it so that components were super easy to replace for them. But then they found out that it was expensive. So when their margins started getting smaller, they had to start doing less custom crap. My old Vizio 32-inch isn't remotely the fastest in refresh rate, but I'm perfectly okay with 1080p. Yeah, I mean, it's if you like it, you like it. So, but I can tell you this: I went from, like 75 hertz to 144, and then I went back to my 75, and I could not do it. I simply could not do it. It bugged me that much that I had to just get rid of it. Like, I'll never go back to this. So it's like anytime you go up in the chain, you never go back down. You can't. It's so hard to. You've tasted the fruit on the other side of the fence. Now you have to stay on that side of the fence. Starting to look like a gaming PC though. Look at that. We got a radiator mounted. Peel this bad boy off. Kind of messed up that peel. Okay. Max thinks I'm talking to him. No, you're fine. I'm not talking to you. It's the stupid cube from the BP Omen, HP Omen. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, they did some weird stuff then. Not much we could do then. But it probably was the entryway into the PC world for you, the HP, right? Is that what it was? So that's like the gold or the benefit that comes out of most of that, is it gave a lot of people the entryway into the PC world. Benefit. That was the word I was looking for. You just like the case, to be honest. Yeah, I've got a old Alienware case back here in green, back when Alienware was Alienware before it got purchased by Dell. And it's from 2003. Yeah, we're going to be doing a YouTube series on that build, because we're going to rebuild it into a modern. Haven't decided what we're going to do with it after the fact, but there'll be some pretty cool content. Just haven't had the time this year to start that project. I'm waiting for some really good downtime, and I just haven't gotten that downtime. Crap, I need to loosen this back up because it moved. It's stupid. I like it. No, not at all. I think a lot of older PC cases are pretty cool. But my plan is with that one is to fit a 360mm AIO in there, or we do an open loop in it. I haven't decided yet. Open loop would get pretty expensive. Regardless, even if we did an open loop or not, 360 radiators has to go in there. And then I have to have proper ventilation for that as well. So, it'll be pretty, we'll have to get pretty creative. Yeah, man. Yeah, baby. Come on. Work with me. Yeah? Looking like a pretty dope gaming PC, right? It is time. The Zotac RTX 4060, 8GB. This card is super efficient. quite a bit more powerful than Intel Core i3 PC this will be replacing. Oh, yeah. You're gonna sit down in this thing and push your foot on that gas pedal and you might get a little whiplash. It's a good type of whiplash, though. Almost there, guys. All we got to do is get a couple more things plugged in, do some cable management, then we can flip this thing over and turn it on. See what it looks like for the very first time. Can I fit that? Yeah, it fits, it ships. Oh. A little bit more beef. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I thought that was an extra fan, not the graphics card. Yeah, that's the GPU. No, you're not dumb at all. You don't know. It looks like a fan. It does. I'm sure when I started, I probably thought it was a fan too. Oh, what's that fan thingy? Right on. Now we've got to deal with this cluster up here at the top, which is all of our RGB and fans for our cooler. So let's go ahead and tackle that. Now that we're here, we're going to separate the two, RGB from PWM. That's PWM. RGB. RGB. PWM. RGB. PWM. RGB. Then we have this chain that we're going to use that goes to the CPU fan header. We'll take this, make it part of this main harness down here, tie it into it. Then, got this guy that needs to come back. This is our rear fan that we unplugged earlier. You can get this guy installed. Do-do-do-do-do. Almost there. Almost there, guys. Looking pretty clean. Starting to get there. Dude. There you go. Some beautiful cable management. What do you guys think? Is that clean enough? Looks clean to me. Let's close it up, clean it up, and let's fire it up. All right, just give me a moment here. I'm going to clean this up here. Get rid of some of this trash that we've developed. Bing. And then we'll plug it in and I'll get you guys a side view so you can take a look at the PC firing up for the very first time. Then we get to see if we built it right, if we have a post. Post is a power on self-test. That indicates that it's built right and successfully powered on. Us PC dudes call it post. All right, Josh, are you ready? Are you ready to see this thing? I'm going to reposition the camera here real quick. Some giant idiots, ready? Josh, I need you here to tell me when to push this power button. We're ready. Everybody's here ready and waiting. I don't know if there's a delay on YouTube. Sometimes there is. Let's go! He's ready. All right, here we go. In 3, hold on. I'm ready. Josh is ready. Everybody's ready. 3, 2, 1. I'm just kidding. Here we go. There you go. And we got a post saying, hey, new CPU installed, brah. What's going on? The BIOS. Isn't she glorious? Well, we got it built. We got it posted. Now, we have to install Windows, do a BIOS update, set the Expo profile, fan curves, do all the drivers, any Windows updates, and then battle test the crap out of it. Oh, shiny. It is. It's beautiful. Super shiny. Shines bright like a diamond. Do you have a favorite color? Let me know if you have a favorite color, Josh. Blue is the winning color. There's our blue. Hey Lee, thanks for the like over there on Facebook. Appreciate you. McDumper, thanks for the follow as well. Atomic, I see that you also followed and I didn't call it out. Thanks for the follow, sir. Nice. See if I can get a better picture of this. Hold on. Let me play around with these settings for a second. Aha. Blue! Because I'm blue. There's a song for that. There we go. It's been built. So we just got to go through those next steps. And I'm planning to try to have it ready for you by Monday for pickup. And so I'll be in touch with you on that. I know you mentioned Tuesday as a backup, so perfectly good with that. So if you need Tuesday as the backup, and you can't make it Monday, no problem. But do wait before you come until you see a ready for pickup email that states that it is ready indeed for pickup. And then of course, if you want to check, feel free to give me a call. I'm here. I'll answer. If I don't answer, leave a voicemail and I will get back to you. Usually pretty quick. But there we have it. We got it built. We got it. We did it. So next steps, software side of things, and then we'll do the battle testing phase and then pickup. And then you can replace that i3 build. And enjoy it. Nice. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining. This is all we've got for today. I know I stated earlier in the Discord, or actually yesterday, that it was going to be a longer stream today. I had to kind of cut it a little bit shorter because we had a lot of people in and out today, bringing in their PCs for service. A lot of motherboard replacements, actually, believe it or not, today. And then we had another drop off, which is going to be a project that I'll be tackling here probably this upcoming Monday. Might stream it. We'll see. But it's been an interesting troubleshooting process on a customer that bought a PC off of Marketplace and then was having all sorts of issues with it, and then here I am troubleshooting it now. So we'll see if we can get through that one, because that one's been interesting. Have a good night, Dad Buds. Thanks for hanging out, sir. Atomic, it was nice seeing you in the stream. Come back, hang out some more. Some giant idiot. Have a good night, sir. I appreciate you as always hanging out. And Josh, look forward to meeting you and getting you this build finally, once and for all. We'll see you guys next time. Next stream will probably be Monday evening or Tuesday evening, one of the two. It just really depends on the schedule of fixing that other machine now, which is now in the mix of things. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for sure coming up this week. I've got 3 behind me that need to be built. So we'll see you next week and we'll have more builds. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for joining. Have a good weekend. Where's the button? Have a good night. Take care, guys.